Hello, my math independent study student. In this video, the objective is to solve rational equation with an extraneous solution. Now, extraneous solution, this will be the first time that most of us will hear about it. This is not a valid solution. To the original rational equation. So it means that from now on, when we solve a rational equation, after you have all your solution, you go back and check your answer, and some of your answer won't work. So the one that won't work, you will say those are the extraneous solution. So let's begin with this example. When we are going to solve this rational equation, 3 over 2x minus 2x over x plus 1 equals -2. So the first step we are going to do is that we are going to find the restriction for our domain. So what I did right here is that I'm going to solve for x. So you think about here, 2x cannot be equal to 0. And x plus 1 cannot be equal to 0. And then you are going to solve for x. So therefore you say x cannot be equal to 0 because you divide both sides by 2. And x cannot be equal to -1. That's what I put right here. I say that x cannot be equal to -1 and x cannot be equal to 0. Next step, we are going to find the least common denominator. So in this case, the least common denominator of these two denominators, they have nothing in common, so we just multiply these two denominators. So it will be 2x times x plus 1. So the next step, now you're going to multiply each side of the equation by your least common denominator. So I'm going to start with 2x. So I'm going to write down my least common denominator. So 2x times x plus 1 times 3 over 2x minus 2x over x plus 1. So this is the left side of the equation. And on the right side, you do, so I'm going to put the -2 and then put 2x times x plus 1. So that's what we say, multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. So after we multiply, then we can go back and we can simplify. So we will distribute the least common denominator with each one of the fraction. So the first one we will have 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just write it down here first so you can see. So I'm just 2x times x plus 1 times 3. I have not multiplied them all. I'm just going ahead and just write them down. And then my denominator will just 2x. So that will be the first fraction. And then the second fraction. So I will have 2x times x plus 1 times 2x over x plus 1. And then on the right hand side, I'll be able to, because it have no denominator, so your denominator by default will be 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and simplify, multiply these two monomial first. So that will give me -4x times x plus 1. Okay, next step, we're going to go back and simplify. So you can see the 2x from the numerator divided by 2x from the denominator. So now we left with 3 times x plus 1. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. So we're done with the first fraction. Let's move on to the second fraction. So now you go ahead and cross out. So the x plus 1 is gone. So now you have negative 2x times 2x. That will give us negative 4x squared. So minus 4x squared. So this is the left side. Now go to the right side. You go ahead and distribute negative 4. So that will give us negative 4x squared minus 4x. So now the next step you are going to do is that now you are going to move all the term to one side. So I'm going ahead and move the two terms from the right side to left side. So by adding 4x squared and adding 4x, I'm going ahead and put them right below the like terms. So therefore we will end up with 7x plus 3 equals 0. Then you can solve for x by subtract 3 from both sides and divide by 7. So therefore x equals negative 3 over 7. So now we found the answer, but we make sure we have to check it. And if somehow if we check this answer and it's not valid with the given or with the original equation, then we can say that this answer is an extraneous solution. First of all, I'm going to check with the domain. So our domain say that x cannot equal negative 1 or x cannot be equal to 0. So therefore we can compare right here. Yes. So far our solution is negative 3 over 7. It satisfies the condition of our domain. Next step, I'm going to check it now. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute x for negative 3 over 7 into the given equation. So I have 3 over 2 times x, but substitute x for negative 3 over 7 minus 2 and substitute x for negative 3 over 7 over the denominator negative 3 over 7 plus 1, and on the right hand side put negative 2. Now you can put this expression in your calculator and check it, and you will see that on the left hand side this expression will give you negative 2. So therefore negative 2 equals negative 2 on the right side. So this is a check. So we can conclude that our solution is for sure x equals negative 3 over 5. Now in case if you don't want to do with your calculator, you want to do it without the calculator, I have the math done. So I'm going to go ahead and show you in here. So this is how we check. So we substitute x for negative 3 over 7, and then we will simplify each one of our fractions. So the first one, you can see that my denominator will be, I'm going to multiply 2 with negative 3 over 7. So 2 times negative 3, so that will give me negative 6 over 7. So the same thing right here for the next fraction. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 over 7. And let's go to for the sum right here. Now we cannot add the two fractions yet if they don't have same denominator. So make a note right here for you. Negative 3 over 7 plus 1. So this will be the same as negative 3 over 7 plus 7 over 7, because you only can add two fractions if they have same denominator. Then you don't add your denominator, you add your numerator. So you have -3 plus 7. So that will give you 4 on the numerator, and then 7 for your denominator. So that's what we have right here, 4 over 7. So next step, we are going to divide the two fractions. So when you divide the two fractions, you are going to rewrite them as multiplication. So you flip and multiply. So what do I mean that? So when you say 3 divided by -6 over 7, you want to flip and multiply, so it means 3 times. So you flip it, so 7 over -6, and then you want to multiply. So that will give you 21 over -6. And of course you can bring the negative side, put them in the middle. So -21 over 6. So that's what we have right here. Okay, and then we do the same thing for the next one. So when we divide fraction, so -6 over 7, we times the reciprocal. So we flip it and times, so it will be 7 over 4, and then we also divide the common factor. So we left with -6 over 4, and again 6 and 4, they also have 2 as the common factor. So therefore we'll have -3 over 2. But by the way, we also have one more negative, so that become a positive 3 over 2. So now you're going to add these two fractions with unlike the denominator on the left side. So our common factor, our common denominator will be 6. So therefore right here I'll have to multiply by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So that way we have 9 over 6. So the first fraction stays the same, and lastly when you combine the numerator, we add the numerator. So that will give me -12 over 6 for the left side, and then it will simplify. That will give me -2. So compared with the right side, exactly the same. So make sure you write it first down so that you know how to do it without the calculator. So that will be the end of this video. Make sure you write out your own summary. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.